Welcome back to Off Grid at Mount Binga. I've just done about 2 hours straight on the old flail mower here. I only get this flail mower out when I need to cover some ground and get through some slightly gnarlier stuff. I mean, it punches through chest height grass, lantana, stinking Roger, any other long, weedy, stringy, barky stuff, it gets through. While I was zipping around, I've been thinking, I've had this thing for about 12 months now. And I thought, what better time to do a review on it? I reckon I've got about 40 hours on it. I was thinking while I was driving around. I've got stuff flying out of the front, flying out of the back. I'm standing up, going through the long grass, and all I could think about was all the drama I've had with this thing. Everything's got a good and a bad, I know. But let's run through a few things that I've found with this exact model that have maybe made me think about, would I purchase this again? Well, I'll tell you at the end. Let's go through a few things. These big old tyres here only take about 12 psi. They're quite soft, and what I've found is that more than soft, they're quite weak. They're a 2-ply and they're nowhere near strong enough. Between the two tyres, in 12 months, I've had at least 9 flat tyres. And I mean, that's when I've started going, getting into it, say 30 minutes in, and then I'll get a flat tyre. It'll slowly go down until I'm hitting the dirt on one side. And I have a look around, there's all these rocks and dirt flying out the back, and I'm like, oh, not another flat tyre. So I bring it all the way back up to camp, patch it, get it going again, head out, just to find another flat tyre. It's been nothing but flat tyre after flat tyre after flat tyre. And as I look at this tyre right here, right now, I can see some of the goop that I've put in previously oozing out already. So in the last 2 hours, I've picked up another flat tyre. Our land here is not super spiky, there's no big prickles. You'll see in the video that it's actually quite nice. Mostly cleared at the front third of the block. All I do now is just manage the long grass. I don't hit rocks anymore. I don't hit big trees or bark or big logs under the grass, so these tyres here just don't cut it. These big screws here are for the height adjustment. I run this flail mower about 3 inches off the ground. As in the bottom of the hammer that comes around, I run it about 3 inches. So the grass is about that big once I pass through it. Now I'll run over grass this high, it'll suck through, it'll absolutely turn it up. That thing's a bit of a beast, that motor, but we'll get to that. My point is, these big dials here are the height adjustment, and this thing vibrates so much that if I don't have these tyres on, this thing will screw itself down, 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 down. Same thing, it'll hit on the ground. There's no actual lock, pin, or stopper, or anything that I can stop this thing from doing that. So I've just come up with this bit of wire and I tie it off. I like to run this chute absolutely wide open. The more stuff I can get out the back, the better. The quicker it comes out, the better. I'm not going to close this down and try and mulch stuff. That's not my plan here. So this chute at the back here can be adjusted to go all the way closed or even higher than this. But I just like to run it nice and level with the machine, and it just spits out everything straight out the back. I've got another vibration issue here. This here's the handle for the height adjustment on this back gate like we just talked about. Now it did have little knob handles on it. They're both vibrated off, and they vibrated off a long time ago. This actual whole handle setup right here has fallen off before, and it was months before I found it again. And no joke, just the other day I did find it way down the front when we were going for a morning walk. So I've put it back on and I've put a lot of Loctite in there, and so far so good, it's holding on. This Flail Mower and Loctite should be in the same ad, because without Loctite I don't think this mower would exist. So as we work our way around here, I'm just thinking of all the things that have gone wrong. I had some serious fueling issues early on with this mower. I'd run it for, it was about 40 to 45 minutes and it would just stop. I'd jump off the four-wheeler, come back here, pump it up with the little fuel pump here, and it would start again. We'd go for another 15 minutes, it'd stop. It did this for months and I just put up with it. I'd just pack up after that. The next time I went mowing, same thing. So I'd only get about an hour each time out of it, and I got to the point where I was very over it. So I started pulling it down, asking friends, trying to diagnose it. Turns out it wasn't a fueling issue at all. It was the oil pressure sensor that was saying that the oil was low. And don't worry, I check the oil every time I get on this machine. I clean the air filter every time. I dip the oil stick, it's always got oil, so there's no problem there. It was just giving a false reading constantly, saying there was no oil and it would turn itself off. Obviously then it would reset. I'd start it again, same thing, oil pressure sensor. It was that giving me all those issues all along. So it wasn't fuel issues at all, it was purely a little switch, and I soon disconnected that switch and it fixed everything. Like I say, I just got 2 hours done then. Nothing actually broke down except another flat tyre. Now it's pretty clear to see that there's no battery cover on that battery anymore. I've got one little nut and a washer holding that battery in there. It's pretty snug, so it hasn't fallen out yet. But what the problem is, the other side here, the bolt where the nut attaches actually just snapped off one day, and it rattled around so much that this thing fell off. Luckily the battery didn't fall out and go under into the hammers there. That would be nothing but a drama. So now I just run it with the battery exposed. This is the third battery I've put on this in 12 months. I don't know why. These batteries cost me a small fortune every time I buy one. So I'm just completely over it. All I do now is just leave it how it is. It's completely flat. So as you've seen in the start of the video, every time I start this thing, I have to jump start it with a set of jumper leads. I keep a set of jumper leads on this quad bike purely to start this flail mower. I jump it straight under the seat, straight into here, and that gets this thing going. This here is where the main drive comes off the motor. It goes on the 3 pulley belts which drives the hub that's actually controlling the hammers underneath there. At idle it doesn't engage, but as soon as it starts to rev up, that pulley stretches out a little bit, grabs that motor and starts turning those hammers. Now this thing revs at a crazy pace, high speed like you wouldn't believe. Those hammers are going absolutely crazy underneath there. Now the problem here is there's one bolt only. It's a big hex head bolt with a male thread that goes in and holds this pulley onto the drive. I was mowing one day a few months ago and I could hear something wasn't quite right. I've got to know this machine enough now that all I do is rely on the sound of what's going on. Yes, I wear ear protection, but I can hear and feel the vibrations coming through. And I know instantly, I'm in tune with this thing, that something was wrong. So I jumped off, turned it down, slowed it right down, let the hammers stop, had a look underneath, couldn't find anything. I thought maybe a hammer had come loose, that's happened before, but it didn't. So I started it back up, got going again, and it just wasn't quite right. So I actually pulled up, brought it back up to the house, and I went over this thing top to bottom. What I found was that the bolt that holds that pulley on had come completely out and spun itself around. It was then sitting inside that pulley, spinning around with it and grabbing and catching and trying to poke itself through this little guard here. Now luckily the pulley didn't come off and create all sorts of drama. I haven't checked, but it's probably on a spline and that's why it's held itself in there. What I had to do was take the wheel off, take this guard off, it has 5 bolts holding it on, get right up in there. Now I didn't have an Allen key big enough. I believe it's probably a 10 or a 12 mil, so I actually made one and I managed to get it on there and I put some Loctite on it, so that fixed that up as well. That's the issue I've had here. There was a little handle on this throttle. It's just gone, it disappeared. I doubt it vibrated off, so now I've got to push this sharp little knobby thing back to get full revs, and without gloves on, it's not the most pleasurable thing. On to the biggest issue I've had with this flail mower is that everything underneath, where all the cutting happens, it's just not strong enough. I've been under there replacing hammers, redoing bolts, Loctiting bolts, lock nut bolts, split washers, they're all Loctited, and I still have these issues where now the actual mounts that are onto the hub are starting to crack off. So I've been under there with the welder as well, fixing all that up. Now look, if I wasn't handy, and I'm not no professional mechanic or anything like that, but I know enough to fix this machine myself, and without that skill, I would have parked this thing in the first month or sent it back to where it come from. I've persisted with it because I've been able to treat it as a learning curve. Look, I've learnt to fix and repair this machine. It nearly broke down every time I used it. It's only recently I've got it to a stage where I can comfortably go and do 2 hours without anything happening, and that was today. And when it's running, it absolutely gets the work done. It really eats things up. It'll eat through lantana head high. It'll run over grass head high and just keep going through it. But without me repairing all this stuff on it, it would have been absolutely useless. So there's not many good things I can say about it. The big question is, if I knew all this was going on with it, would I buy it again? No, definitely not. I would not spend $500 on this thing brand new if I knew the issues that were going to come with it. Now this thing costs us a pretty package. I probably could have bought a second-hand motorbike for the same price, and I can guarantee 100% I would have got much more pleasure out of that. But on the other side of things, without this flail mower, I would still be driving around on the ride-on, trying to get through all this grass. I'd still be pushing up piles of lantana with the bobcat. And yeah, it's great when it's going. Is it worth it? I don't think so. Would I buy it again? Definitely not. Would I recommend it to anyone? No, I wouldn't. Go look for something else. Look for a different brand. All these issues have built a real love-hate relationship. But I'll tell you right now, there's more hate than love. Anyway, there's not much more I can say. I just noticed there's a guard there. It snapped off one day, and you'd think I'd be able to find it. I'm all over this 100 acres like you wouldn't believe, and I know exactly where I've been mowing, what I've been doing. And you think I can find that guard? Haven't found it yet, so I tried to re-weld it on and it just fell off again. Like I say, they're all vibration things. Well, I hope you got something out of this. This is the old flail or fail. And this right here is an absolute fail. That right there is the project we need to get back into. So I hope you've enjoyed this little review. I haven't got much good to say, but all is well. We're doing well. It's not going to ruin our lives. It's just not the best machine that you could buy. I know it's not house content. We'll get back to the house soon. But I thought 12 months is up and there's no better time to review this flail mower. If you're going to buy one, don't. Search for a different brand. You'll do yourself a big favour. Anyway, let's watch this thing eat. Hope you enjoy.